Well, hello, second graders. This is Miss Melody here, and I'm going to be teaching you your writing lesson for today. So what you will need is your composition book, and we are going to continue writing letters, friendly letters. And mine might look a little bit different than yours on the cover, but it will be the same inside. So as I was saying, boys and girls, we're going to be writing a friendly letter again. And I know that we did this last week, but we want you to become really comfortable with the skill and to remember all 5 parts of the friendly letter. So boys and girls, one thing that I want to remind you of is when we use our composition book, we always open the book, and the first thing that we are going to be writing gets written on the very first page that you see, and the second thing that we write, or letter, would be on the very back side of that. And then today's letter is going to go on the 3rd page. Now I'm going to divide this lesson into 2 so that we can write a friendly letter that has a bit more of a message in it than maybe what you have been doing so far. So I know that you're just coming off of 1st grade, we're 2nd graders now, and writing sentences can take a little while. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do part 1 of a friendly letter and part 2 of a friendly letter, and we are going to do half of part 3. Okay? And since it's a Monday, we are going to write a letter to the teacher, to your own teacher, about your weekend. So boys and girls, I'm wondering if you can remember what part 1 is. It goes in the upper right-hand corner. Think about it. That's right. The date goes in the upper right-hand corner. So part 1 is the date. All friendly letters have a date on them so that the person receiving the letter knows when this took place. Now we're ready for part 2. Actually, let me go back. When we write the date, we want to make sure that we have a capital letter for the month. We have the number of the day of the month that it is, and then we have a comma to separate that number from the year. Otherwise, if we didn't have that comma there, it would be kind of confusing to know where the year starts and where the number of the day of the month is. So don't forget that comma. It's really important. All right, boys and girls, we're moving on to part 2 of the friendly letter. So we have to figure out how we're going to start it. So we think about who is the letter going to, and friendly letters usually start with the word dear, with a capital D. And you might see this pink line right here. Dear goes just to the right of the pink line on the top line of your notebook. And then who are you writing the letter to? That comes next. So I'm writing it to the 2nd graders. So dear 2nd graders. And what do you see here at the end? Another comma. That's right. We need a comma after the name of the person or people the letter is going to. So the comma doesn't go right after dear. Nope, it goes over here after the name. All right, this is called the greeting, and it's part 2 of the friendly letter. All right, boys and girls, we're ready for part 3 of the friendly letter. Part 3, this is where most of the writing will happen. It's called the body of the letter or the message. So what I've done is I have written 2 sentences. I know this looks really long, but, or maybe this is 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so today you might only write 2 sentences. I suppose it'll depend how much time you and your teacher have. So part 3, this is the body or the message that you're wanting to send. And I don't know if you can see this here, boys and girls, but there's a space here. It's at least a finger space, if not more, where we do something called indenting. We're going to indent or go in a little bit for that first line of your message or your body of your letter. So the body of the letter is going to be, in the end, if we can do it, 5 sentences. But for today, I only want you to write 2 sentences. So here is my first sentence. I had a great weekend. I was thinking, boys and girls, that you maybe didn't have a great weekend. So you might use this sentence frame. It says, I had a blank weekend. So you could use that to write your letter. You might not want to say great. You might want to say good. Maybe it wasn't great, it was just good. Or maybe it was amazing. So then you could put, I had an amazing weekend. Or you could say something like this without saying these exact words. Like you might start it by saying, my weekend was a lot of fun, or I had a lot of fun on the weekend. But the point is, you want to tell your reader kind of the topic that you're going to talk about in your letter. So my letter is going to be all about that I had a great weekend. Notice I ended it with an exclamation mark because I'm happy about it and I'm going to use a lot of emotion, so that gets an exclamation mark. I followed it up by saying the best part was going to visit my parents in Marshfield, Wisconsin, which is about a 2-hour drive from Cottage Grove. So I told you I had a great weekend. I followed up with telling you the best part. So you might want to do that in your letter too. The best part was, and then you finish it. And then you're done for the day. That's it. That's all you need to do so far. We will add the next 2 parts, 3 parts I should say. Well, part 2 of the body, part 4, and part 5. So I hope you had fun writing your letter to your teacher about your weekend. Keep up the good work.